So, I was thinking of the Black Lives Matter. And if you have a Black Lives Matter, somebody else has to have a Brown Lives Matter. And then somebody else has to have a Yellow Lives Matter. And then somebody else has to have a Blue Lives Matter. It's just the way it is, kind of. Or else it's one-sided, see. And it's like a Rubik's Cube. Many sides and pieces to those sides. So everybody has to be represented, so it kind of puts it simple to say all lives matter. But in this context, having to fight for myself, say, long-haired artists that don't like to work with the construct of man's current circumstance for humanity, social structure, economics, whatever, you know, matter. And so in that perspective, what I would do is I'd say, okay, if I wanted reparations too, I'd say each state has so many empty apartments, buildings abandoned, posted up, nobody's allowed in there. Black Lives Matter should find out which state, what properties are owned by each state, and then go vacate them, right? And you can't take people's personal property because they're working just like you and me. And yes, I put us together, you and me. Like that? Okay, so you can't just take personal property, but you could take property of the state if you wanted it from the state. You know, but you can't just like take over a whole area. But the clause is bums and stuff too have to be in on it. And all diversified people that are homeless. Okay, because if your home was taken from you, that's the same thing as being homeless, right? So all the homeless people as well, you're going to work together and you're going to take some properties, you know. This is what I would figure if I was running the show. You know, take some properties from the state that the state owns and the towns own that are abandoned and overrun, you know, like with trash and shit, because there are there, you know, they're posted up. So go live in there, right? But here's another thing. You got to clean the place up. You got to act like you own it and love it, right? And then donations will come in from construction projects, so you guys can do all the work yourselves, okay? And then they'll get a tax write-off. And also, you get a supplement from the city when it comes to the permitting and everything else. It's got to be fair, right? You got to pay for that. You know, can't have a double standard. We have to start from here. We can't start from back then. It's not going to work. That doesn't work for anybody. Okay. So, if you start from where we're at right now, you can get somewhere. Right? And another thing, in the place where Biden and Kamala are, Biden and Miss Harris are, I don't know Miss Harris. I heard she's got to pass stuff, so, you know, she got to make up for it by, you know, helping the situation out. And Biden, you know, see, if she put people in jail and made stuff for weed, that's a hypocrisy. It's a whole nother subject. And, you know, it profiled a lot of black people. You know, hypocrisy, cigarettes, alcohol, and prescription pills out there. She got to make up for it somehow by leading that, right? And Biden, even Johnny Carson was showing clips of you plagiarizing stuff. You're like the non-violent Che Guevara. You just got in there because you're a good old boy, like a goomba. Only Che Guevara, he turned into a psychopath, you know. And he was a scapegoat for Castro. He's a tool like that. So, you know, you're kind of the same in a way because you're just, I don't believe that your political opinion is representative of enough people for you to be valid in your perspective of life. You know, and people will follow you, but they don't believe in the same things. And I know the word on the street. They don't feel like that. You know, they just wanted a difference. And they're simple in layman's terms. That's why they have the term layman terms, right? So, you know, that's how we solve Black Lives Matter. That's how we solve any past BS. I call it BS because I'm 47 years old, dude. And honestly, I've been beat up by black people. I could give you a whole history of racism. Shoved in the bottom locker for like 40 minutes. I explain it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so, I'm on the same level. And, being put in jail, everybody's the same in there, really. Once you get out, you're the same because you're in that waiting room and all that stuff. And when you're on your way in, you're the same. So it doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's the same. But when you're in there, then the clicks start. And it's almost like a game. The swastika and Islam's the Black Lives Power. Half of them change back, into somebody that's not defined by that once they get out. So that's irrelevant. Prison and jail, cliques and racism is kind of irrelevant because there's nothing to do in there, and those are the type of people that fight anyway. That's why they're in there. Except for people like me and other people. And there's so many things we could talk about, but in the States, you got to start fighting for your people. Like, say, if somebody from Vermont, which is a cannabis legal state with THC, is in, like, say, Delaware, and the police want to get them because they have their cannabis on them, then Vermont needs to step in and say, you know what, don't mess with our contributor to our state, one of our residents. No. Because you can't take Vermont out of America, and you certainly can't take a bunch of other places out of America either. Okay? And so if you're going to have weed legal in Colorado, you have to have it legal in Virginia and all the other states too. It's just bullshit. And the states need to start fighting for that.